as you knew they would be, they came out and fought really hard, and it was tough to stop them scoring for 35 minutes. But the last 5 minutes that your team produced was really impressive to get that win.
Yeah, a big shout out to 40. He's had a tough stretch there, and their group's had a tough stretch with injuries. But they're going to be a handful moving forward if they can remain healthy. And they were fantastic. I thought Taron Armstrong was just wonderful. I mean, he's a wonderful player. The best I've seen him shoot the three ball like that, and just he was really fantastic. The second half kind of swung a little bit towards us, and we kind of settled ourselves defensively in some areas, and I think it was a 36-point second half. The positive out of that was that we just stayed resilient in the last fourth quarter there of what we do. And the other big positive is, Jesus, we got to 99 points, which is incredible. So, so all those things are relatively exciting.
I was going to ask about that because I'm sure you didn't like the 54 that you gave up in the first half, but it was a free-flowing game and both teams were shooting the ball really well. I mean, how much do you take out of the fact that you got to 99 points on the back of some good offense and good shooting?
Yeah, again, this is, I think, our second game where we actually have a full roster too. So we've been progressing in some of those areas offensively and trying to find some ways to be creative and take advantage of our skill set of what we have. And then we try to hang our hat on our defensive end to keep us in games or pull games out. And some really positive signs. A lot of guys chipped in across the board, and just a good effort in our building.
Huge factor in the game was the offensive rebounding, and Will was a massive part in that. I mean, to have his presence out there to create all those extra possessions for you, that had a big say in the final result.
Yeah, it's one of the things we've been harping on. We are talking about in the last 3 years, we've been one of the better rebounding teams on both ends of the floor. And this year we've dipped quite a bit in that area. And we have continued to try to drill, offensive rebounding and running our routes that we like to call. And, for him to get 9 offensive rebounds, just an incredible effort and a lot of reloads and a lot of extra possessions, which obviously is huge to get 99 points.
Will, how thankful were you that Scott still had a challenge left in those last couple of minutes and you got that block?
Yeah, very. I asked him to challenge the one before as well, and he told me to sit down and shut up. So, obviously it's a tough game for referees to make calls, and sometimes I make mistakes, sometimes I don't, and I thought I got it clean, and he trusted me with it. So, luckily he had a spare one.
Yeah, and it was very clean. It didn't take long to see that either on the review. How many times over the last week have you talked about the block that he couldn't challenge last week?
I think it's more other people talking about it a little bit. We try and move on as quickly as possible and just get back to work. And there's no point harping on it. The call was the call, and we try and move on. So I think you guys have enjoyed talking about it probably more than I have.
It's just a shame because it was just such a block that we can't actually call a block.
It was a foul, mate. So.
Wow. It looks like you're enjoying your basketball as much as you ever have right now, and it looks like your body's allowing you to. I'm sure your shoulder's probably still not 100%, but you're still playing through it. How much are you enjoying the impact you're able to have on games right now?
Yeah. I always just try and have fun. I think we get caught up in the seriousness of what we do, and as it is serious, and you try and do the right thing, but at heart, we're all just a bunch of kids running out there, chucking the ball at the hoop, trying to have some fun. So I try and bring that approach a little bit with a bit of energy and a bit of anger, and it worked out tonight, but it doesn't always happen.
Winning always makes it more fun as well. It feels like you're building some real momentum now. You've won 4 straight, and it feels like now that you're at full strength, we're finally seeing what this team is capable of this season. Yeah,
I think we're doing a good job just building game to game and just going into practice and trying to clean up what we're not doing well. They still 12-0 boards, and we probably turned the ball over a bit too much in the first half. And when we tidy that stuff up, we're pretty good, but we're still yet to sort of put 40 minutes together, and that's going to be a challenge for us all year. And we'll go into practice whenever we practice next. I think it's Sunday. Yeah, we'll go into practice and just try and build off what we can or what we did this game.
Scott, you touched on it before. Being at full strength now, I think this is only the second game where you've had every player available now that you had Jordan back in for this game. How important is that now that hopefully you can stay healthy, because we're now seeing what you can do when you're fully together?
Yeah, I mean, obviously, sports and the ebb and flow of a season. You have the ups and downs and the injuries, and you hope you have enough depth and guys buying into your system that when you do have injuries, you can survive X amount of time them being off the floor. And so it's always nice to have a full roster, and it is kind of the middle of the season here, and hopefully we can remain relatively healthy. But you anticipate going into every game with a healthy roster, and it just doesn't always work out that way. And there's a lot of teams that end up struggling through that. And we've had our moments of injuries throughout the last 3 years and going into this year at different times. But we have some pretty good depth in some areas, and it's allowed us at least survive some situations.
What about the difference of having Sean back in the team makes for your backcourt? Because you've got him, you've got Milton, and you've got Jordan, who are all ball handlers. They can be all playmakers, and they can all be shooters and scorers. I mean, having all three of those guys together at the same time, how much of a difference does it make for you?
Yeah, I'm hoping that it's going to make a big difference. Obviously, getting 99 points and the pace that Jordan plays with, and then obviously Shawnee helps us across the board of just getting into our spots quicker. And the availability of having a third ball handler is, I think, really huge. And Dremmick's game is starting to evolve here, which is exciting. And Majuk Dang, tonight was just really solid for us. And so we got guys kind of creeping in the right direction with the work they're doing. And I want to give a big shout out to Crawford, because this is his first game in his professional career. He's never started. And I explained to him and to the team that you always have to do what's best for the group if you really want to, if winning is your thing, and if you want to say about winning and talk about our culture. And we've kind of instilled that from day one when we got here, about just sacrificing for each other. And it's not always going to be perfect, but for an import like him, with the quality player that he is, to come off the bench and accept that role is huge for us. That he's not tapping out or he's not pouting, and it's a big statement for him. And I think it's a great visual learning experience for our team in general about what it means to be a jack jumper and what it means to sacrifice for each other. And I was really proud of him tonight, coming off that injury, the concussion. But, again, if you think about it, he's 34 years old, and he started every single game he's played professionally except tonight.
No, that's incredible. But I'm sure on this team he'll be fine if that has to keep happening. I mean, it's an interesting stretch now for you with the schedule lightens off now over the next couple of weeks. I mean, Mike Wells and Justin Tatum have talked a little bit throughout the season about the frustration of having so much time in between games in the NBL, because they're just not used to it where they're coming from. How do you now approach the next couple of weeks where you've now got momentum, but you don't have a lot of games?
Well, it's pretty simple, and he'll hate to hear it because he already knows. We practice like hell. We practice like everything matters to us. Every day matters to us, and we don't give days away, and we'll just go back to what we do. We were running in the FIBA break. We were running on the ovals for practice and practicing, and we have a few days, and I think we go to New Zealand, and I think we have a 9 or 10 day stretch again where we don't play, but it gives us a chance to recover. Some guys recover, but we'll work and we'll practice and we'll be on point again and we'll get ready to go right away. And obviously, as a player and a former player, you want to play all the time. You don't want to practice, but our strength and our model of defending the island means we go to work every day and we show up to do our jobs. And that's what we'll do during the break. We'll show up and do our jobs.
How much would you prefer to be playing games, Will, instead of running the oval?
Thankfully, the oval's only like once a year. But I really enjoy our practices. I mean, we get after it, and it's fun, it's competitive, and that's kind of where you see your growth as individuals and as a team, and then you just get to implement that in games. And obviously, you'd sort of love to play 2 or 3 games a week and just not practice and roll in, and but I think you can really separate and grow as a team, through a stretch of practice. So, as hard as they are enjoyable. You got to get work on your game and have a bit of fun and work as a team.
Absolutely. Thanks very much, guys.
Yep. I hope that's on tape. We're good?
Yeah, we're good. Thank you.
Okay, thanks. Have a good evening.